Hi everyone, welcome. I hope you're having a great weekend. I'm so sorry for the delay of this video. We had a complete car catastrophe on Friday, and we're still working through it yesterday, but happy weekend. I hope you guys are having a really nice couple of days off. So today we'll do a little, probably 15 or 20-minute session, and I really want to look at some different standing postures. And these can be a little more energetic or a little more powerful, but I'll give you a lot of different levels. So if you're feeling like really strong and you're doing it and it feels good, that's awesome. Or maybe you're like, today I'm feeling low energy and you want to take it a little more relaxed, that's okay too. So just do what feels good, and I'll give you maybe level like 1, 2, 3 of how difficult if you want to make more or a little bit less. Um, yeah, okay. So either on your mat or on a blanket, wherever you are, get started in a child's pose. And so this will look like the knees are wider than the hips and the big toes are together. And then just reach the hands forward and let the forehead come down to the ground. And if your hips are really tight, maybe this looks a little bit like this, where the hips are higher, but eventually start to walk the hips down towards the feet and let the hips just settle and start to open here in this child's pose. And I want you just to start to let go of your day, let go of your weekend. And what that means is really just start to release any of these to-dos, any of this heaviness or running around, the busyness of the weekend. Start to release that and just start to come to the space of your mat. Let your attention, let your awareness come into this space of the present moment. And then start to notice your breath. And just take a couple really deep, even inhales and exhales for maybe 3 or 4 counts of an inhale, and then 3 or 4 counts exhale. And just do this a couple times, bringing fresh air, fresh oxygen into the body. And exhale. Let the body feel heavy when you exhale. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Maybe you'd like to start rocking the forehead from side to side, kind of like you're massaging the space of the forehead from temple to temple. And if you like to do these cupcake hands like we did the other day, you can start to press into the fingertips and really walk the shoulders, walk the hips down a little bit closer to the feet. Feel this length of the spine. Awesome. Then big inhale to tabletop. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Stack the hips over the knees. And then just start with some cat-cows. And I'm still waking up here. It's the morning, so maybe you are too. And take your time here. So notice how open the body feels. And then just give yourself a couple breaths where you move into these tight spaces. And maybe the tight spaces are everywhere. That's okay. Just be slow, be gentle. Notice what you find here. And so you can do these traditional cat-cows forwards and backwards. You can also make these cat-cows really organic. Look from one side to the other. It can also feel really good just to make some big circles, like the hips are a spoon and you're stirring a bowl here in both directions. Good, one more breath here. Just breathing, sending energy into the spine and the shoulders. And then when you're ready, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And in this down dog, you can bend one knee, then the other. Whew, maybe this is really tight for you. You can keep the knees bent if that's so. So keep reaching the hips high and settle through the backs of the legs. Let's take one more big breath here. And then inhale, gaze forward and really slowly tiptoe the feet to the hands. When you get here, keep the knees bent and the legs are still wider than the hips. So think of bringing the feet even a little bit wider. And hands come to opposite elbow. Let yourself hang here. And shake the head. Yes, shake the head, no. Maybe even shake the body. Yes. And shake the body, no. And really imagine how heavy the skull is, how heavy the head and shoulders are, and how they can provide this gentle pull of the spine open. Maybe open and close the mouth. One more breath. And then release the hands. And bring the feet so they're about 2 fists or 6 inches or so apart. And then bring the hands to the shins. And I want you to just start to pull the spine forward, pull the shoulders down. We'll be here for a couple breaths. Pull the belly in and imagine that you're pointing the tailbone back and you're pointing the top of the head forward, making this really long back. Good. One more breath here. Keep pressing hands into the legs. Pull the heart forward. And then exhale, fold forward. Shake the knees, shake the head. Good. Keep the right foot at the hands and then step the left foot backwards. And I think earlier, 2 weeks ago or last week, we did this with the knee down. So maybe you'd like to take the left knee down to the ground. Or maybe you're feeling really energetic and you keep the left knee lifted. You're pressing a lot of energy back through the left foot. And then start to pull the belly in so you feel like the muscles of your abdominals are supporting the weight of the torso. And take a big inhale, start to come up. And here we are. This is called a crescent lunge or a high lunge. And of course, you can be here on the left knee. This is like a low lunge version. Especially if the balance isn't quite there today, you can always stay here with the left knee down. And always, you can maybe use like a blanket, or you could roll your blanket or towel under this knee if you need extra support. It really shouldn't hurt the knee at all. Maybe you're feeling really energetic, and here you are with the back knee lifted. And we'll just take a couple breaths here. So I want you to start to settle the hips and feel that the shoulders are stacked over the hips and the head is stacked over the shoulders. So if you find yourself kind of bending one way or another, try to find this nice, straight spinal position. And then you can even imagine you're slightly pulling the right hip backwards and slightly pulling the left hip forward. And this gives you a lot of stability in the pelvis. And then you keep pressing back through this left heel. And it's okay if the left leg is a little bit bent. That means your pelvis is nice and straight. And if you're having a really good time here, you can smile. Yoga jokes. Good, let's take 2 more breaths. Settle the shoulders. Pull the belly in. One more big inhale. And then on the exhale, turn the hips open. Maybe you need to shake the hips. I do. And come to a warrior 2. And I'll just go ahead and turn to face you guys here for warrior 2. So in warrior 2, the hips are open in the direction of the heart, so forward. The back foot is at 90 degrees. And then the front foot is facing straight forward, and the knee is also pointing forward, and the hands come. And this is actually such a powerful pose. The legs are strong, the belly is strong. This is kind of like the bread and butter of yoga, this warrior two pose. Good, come back to your breath. And we're just gonna hold this for a couple breaths, and if you're feeling that it's kind of difficult or that your breath is getting really fast, try to slow everything down and just settle here. And same thing here, sometimes we end up reaching forward or kind of coming backwards or coming into the strange alignment. Really feel that the shoulders are stacked above the hips and the head are stacked above the hips. So you're making this long line with the heart facing forward and the arms really extending out, sending a lot of energy into the fingertips even. Good. Let's find some movement here. Inhale, straighten the right leg, reach the arms to the sky, look up. Exhale, warrior two. Settle the right knee. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale, come back to this warrior two. And this time just check in that the knee is stacked above the ankle. And it can be a little bit behind the ankle, that's okay. But what we really don't want is that it's too far forward past the ankle. This can put a lot of stress on this knee joint and ankle joint. So come out just a little, knee stacked above the ankle. One more big breath. Good. Then start to straighten this right leg, shake the hips. Good. Let the right leg go. Awesome. Turn the toes to face forward. So now the right toes and the left toes are both pointing in the same direction. Reach the arms out really wide, take up space, big inhale, open the heart to the sky. And exhale, fold forward. You can bend one knee than the other. You can find a little bit of movement. Or maybe you just like to shake the head, let the head hang heavy. Good, one more breath. Feel that the spine is growing and that you're folding from the hips. And then start to walk the hands to the left foot and turn the left toes in the direction of the heart. So we're turning the whole body to face this other side here. And just take a moment. You can always bring the right knee down. We'll move on to the left side. And this is already a really nice stretch. So it's maybe if you feel it in the hips or maybe through the top of the hip flexor. When you're ready, come up into a crescent lunge, reaching the hands high. So we should be on the opposite side. If we did the right foot forward last, now the left foot is forward. And we have all these options. Remember, the right knee can be down, the right knee can be lifted. If the balance isn't there, you can always have the hands at center, or maybe you are reaching the hands high. And then let's just check in on the side. Shoulders stacked above the hips. If you feel like you're really sticking the booty out, try to pull everything under so you're in this really tall, long line. The head is reaching to the sky. The neck is really long. Envision you're just pulling the left hip backwards and the right hip slightly forward to create this energy and stability in the pelvis. Just 2 more breaths here. You're doing great. Maybe you're smiling because you're having so much fun. Good. Keep pressing back through this right heel. One more big breath here. Settle. Take a big inhale. And then exhale. Open. Warrior two. Straighten the legs. Shake the hips. Awesome. So now in the warrior two on the left side, the right foot is parallel to the back of your mat, or what you could imagine the back of your towel or whatever you're using. The left knee is reaching forward. The left toes are pointing straight forward. And then the hips are open. The heart and the head are stacked in one line here. And the arms reach out. And just check in with this left knee. It shouldn't be way forward above the ankle. Even a little bit behind is fine. Eventually, maybe it's directly over the left ankle. And if this pose is hard, that is okay. It's hard for me too, still. A lot of muscles are engaged, the legs, the belly. See how you can settle a little, even if the breath is starting to speed up or the heart rate is fast. Try to breathe really deeply. And try to soften and let go of anything that you're really holding on tightly to. Good. One more breath. And then let's move with the breath. Inhale, straighten the left hand, reach the hands high, gaze to the sky. And then exhale, warrior two. Good. Two more times. Inhale. Straighten the leg, reach up, exhale. Last one, big inhale. And exhale, come a little deeper in this warrior two. And just feel how nice it is for the hips start to open the inner thigh. You can even start to walk this right foot back a little bit if you're making more space in the hips and you're able to settle in a little bit more. Still with this left knee above the ankle. Let's take two more breaths. Try to settle the shoulders. And try to relax the muscles of the face. Good. The big inhale, straighten the leg, reach the arms high again. Join the toes to face forward. Now everything's forward, the hips, the heart. This time open the arms and then clasp them behind the back. Big inhale, open the heart to the sky. And exhale, fold. And if you really dislike the arms here, if it feels too off balance, you can always just bring the hands down. But try to keep the hands as they are clasped. For two more breaths, bring the shoulders down the back. Activate the hands. Imagine you're reaching the hands to the sky and pulling the shoulder blades down the back. And the neck is really heavy. One more breath. Awesome. And release the hands down. And then walk the hands back to the right foot. Step back, downward facing dog. And if this is not really a rest pose, if you're feeling really out of breath, you can always come down to child's pose. But see if you can challenge yourself. If everything's feeling good, let's take 3 more deep breaths here in down dog. Keep reaching the hips high. Press into the hands. Good. Inhale the right foot high. And lead with the knee. Half pigeon. And in our half pigeon, remember the hips are facing forward. You can always use a blanket or something under this right hip. The left toes are pointing straight back, and you can just stay right here if you need. Or maybe you start to relax forward. This is such a nice pose for the hip and the hip flexor. Take 5 deep breaths here. And really pay attention to the things you're holding on to. So maybe it's tight muscles in the hips or in the neck and shoulders. Or maybe you feel like you're really clenching the jaw or squeezing the muscles of the face. All of this tension, all of this stress in the body really wears on us. So see how you can be really heavy, really soft in the muscles. One more breath. And start to press back into the hands. And inhale the right foot high and shake out this leg. Maybe you'd like to bend the right knee and stack the right hip on top of the left. This is called three-legged down dog, but it's like you're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant, which is ridiculous, but it feels really good. Good. Downward facing dog. Inhale the left foot. And lead with the knee. Half pigeon. And just take a moment to get set up. So before you completely relax down, the hips are both facing forward. So sometimes people kind of fall off the hips in this pose. I want you to feel that they're still reaching forward and the right toes are pointing straight back. The ankle and the knee isn't doing something weird. You can always stay right here or start to relax forward. And this side might feel really different. In this pose, you really don't want any pain in your knee. So you can always take like a figure 4, like we did in the class on Wednesday, laying on your back, if this pose doesn't feel good for you. Let's take 2 more breaths, and I want you to just send your entire awareness into your body, into any tight places, the hips, the neck and shoulders. And with your exhale, really imagine you are actively letting go, actively releasing from that area. And then inhale back to the hands. Awesome job. Three-legged down dog. Tuck the right toes under. Inhale the left foot high. And you can make some big circles here, or maybe it felt good to open the hips, stack left hip on top of right. Keep pressing evenly into the hands. One more breath wherever you are. And down dog. And this is our last down dog for this sequence, so just take a moment to settle in here. Notice the difference from when we began. And then come down to the knees and come to seated. We will take one last forward fold. And a lot of times in these forward folds, I feel like we really are trying to force ourselves into these poses. So for this, just let your body move to its natural limits. I want you to sit up nice and tall. Maybe that means you rock from side to side so you feel like you're on your sit bones. Really press into the hands to start. So the hands are down by the hips. The knees can be bent. Inhale, the spine is really long, so wrap the shoulders down, pull the neck and the top of the head to the sky. And then start to reach the hands high. Keep the belly pulled in here, so you're like almost the capital letter L. Big breath in. And then exhale, fold. We're not going to pull on anything for today. So if the knees are bent, that's okay. Maybe you feel this more in the low back and the spine. Maybe you can start to straighten the legs and find a little bit of movement, especially behind the knees. Try to soften. But just see what space is here for you. Imagine that you're folding from the hips. And the head is heavy. Challenge yourself to 2 more breaths. Just see if there's any more areas you can send the breath to and actively relax there. And then big inhale, walk the hands back. And to release this forward fold, just bring the feet down to the ground and let the knees fall from side to side. Let the spine go. Awesome. And then keep the left leg straight out. Bring the right leg across for a final spinal twist. So if the right knee is in towards your chest, keep the left arm hugging this knee into the heart. Reach the right hand high. And then bring the right hand behind you. So inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, twist. A big inhale. And exhale. And then walk the hands to center. Take a counter twist, walk the hands to the left, and then gaze towards this left shoulder. Awesome. And then unravel the right leg. Reaches long, bring the left leg in, and then the foot comes to the other side of the right leg. This time the right arm hugs the left knee into the heart. Big inhale, left hand high. And exhale, left hand behind you. These twists can be really confusing with the rights and lefts. Just do the best you can. If the left knee is at your heart, you're opening to the left shoulder, gazing to the left shoulder, even stretching into the neck. Maybe you can wrap the shoulder down the back. Good. Inhale, find a long spine. And exhale, twist. And then we'll walk the hands back to the front and then all the way to the right. Take a brief counter twist. And then all the way back around. And we will just come to a comfortable seated position with the eyes closed. Wherever you are, find some movement. And then when you find stillness, bring the palms to face up or down, whatever is comfortable, and feel the length of the spine. Root down from the hips, up all the way through the neck, up through the top of the head. Let's take one big breath here to close our class together. Big inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Good, let's do it one more time. Did everyone do it? Let's do it again. Big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I wish you a beautiful rest of your day. I look forward to next week. You all kind of know most basics and most of the poses, so we can start to do some really fun sequences and to start to add on to the basics. So I'm so excited for that. As always, please email me with any questions or comments or how you're finding the classes, what you're thinking, how everything is feeling, anything at all. I wish you the best and have a great and beautiful rest of your day today. Take care.